Okay, yeah, so we're gonna go e6, d5. And I guess we're gonna do something like this. We could go knight here, like just thinking of trying to just thinking of trying to keep our setup alive. I would go bishop d6. Okay, I can go bishop d6 here. I was gonna say bishop e7 because I thought he was gonna castle. But yeah, we have our bishop here supporting, and actually, oh my, not the queen, man. Guys, please. How is this bishop able to take every single piece in the center? It shouldn't be this easy. Like, it's ridiculous. I haven't had to use my brain for any of the points we've gained, man. This is a joke. A joke. Start playing this opening immediately. Are you not seeing the freelo right in front of you? Like, huh? Everyone misses the sniper bishop. Everyone. Okay, we got the white pieces, and okay, he's not really taking the center here, which means we're probably gonna have a good time getting our opening. Interesting. Definitely an interesting position from our guy here. Okay, well, this is looking a little bit more like a push everything forward. Yeah, can't say I really understand what our lad is doing here. Can we start to occupy some light squares? This should be relatively painful, especially if he plays there, which I think he will. Okay, that's a heads up move right there. That is a heads up move. Trying to allow him an opportunity to play that, but once again he refuses. I wonder if this move actually makes sense. B5 and queen a4 looks pretty good. Okay, well, we'll definitely play it now because it feels like it keeps everything boxed in. Back where you came from, brah. he's having a lot of difficulty moving a single piece here. This is concerning. I think queen a7 should lead to a mate here, but if we want to guarantee a checkmate, I think we can do it by force. Not this one, but this one. And not these ones, but this one. Oh, he just goes there. I thought maybe he would go here, in which case we would check here and then mate. In this case, that is just mate. But what can you expect? I mean, you're never going to have a good game playing the opening he just did, so happy we could just sit down and play a nice, slow, dominant crush of a performance. Hopefully he never plays it again, for his sake. Hopefully, if you match up with him in the pool, he's still stubborn and he still plays the exact same way. I wish that for you. Okay. D4, knight f3, b3. Interesting. He's going for the same stuff that we are. Okay, well, familiar position. Knight e4 can't happen. I'm probably about to play knight e5. Yeah, I still don't need to do it, as far as I can see. Okay, so now we have a unique situation where this move is being threatened and we can't jump in because it is covered 3 times. I think there's 2 decent solutions. One of them is this, because it pins something here, so he can't really get away with it, you'd think. But he has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces helping out. So in this moment, we really want to attack this pawn, because there's no way he can plan for this while also blocking control of that. So this is a rare case where I would say that c4 is pretty good, and I think we can see why here. Black is only focused on pushing the e pawn and basically no consideration given to that pawn right there. So the question is, can we keep an extra pawn? I think we can. e4 does not seem like the way to do it, because knight d5 will be threatened. So I'm thinking we need to take. And if we take like this, then I don't really know how we're going to defend it next. So maybe we take this way. Knight takes. Keep the knight alive here with some support. I was thinking about taking with the knight, but honestly, if we take this way, I don't know how he adds any pressure to it. Let's bring some rook to the d file, definitely. Maybe the c file as well. Okay, well, it looks like this probably wins some material. I was also looking at bishop to b5, and that I think gets the job done as well. Just because e4 is so powerful. When the knight moves, that's with check. The check is important. You know, very, very, very helpful. Okay, we need to move our queen. This looks like the move, but you know, bishop h6 looks mildly annoying, so I'm going to slide over this way and keep that defended. We certainly need an escape square, also maybe a trade. In concept, I feel like that move's not that bad. Like he's trying to open the bishop. I see it. I see the vision. I do. Okay, maybe this one. I think that might be the best. Everybody's least favorite move, h3. If you're black there, trying to set up one last hope. Definitely need an e6 move. This should probably do it. Maybe knight here. Things are kind of stuck, I guess. And we can maybe just push from now on. GG. GG. Managed to get a win there. What happened in the opening? Yeah, he actually went for a fianchetto as well. So I think 95 would have been fine, but it's nice to know that if someone truly, if they've got to a point where you can't put your knight in, you can't prevent them from playing it, probably your only other option, and it's important to know, is to hit the center pawn, because if they're able to create that position, they're giving something up. Because this is not normal. This doesn't normally happen. In this case, yes, it was possible to create, but clearly there's no support on this pawn, and this makes a big difference. And so then black would have to play e6, and then they're not getting e5. But yeah, a3, we want to stop knight b4. These two pieces are there to stop knight e4. In general, we want to play knight e5. The reason why it's slightly less effective here is just because the knight can take and the knight can go to e4. And that's because of this bishop. Normally, I would be very interested in playing knight e5, like if the bishop was here, because takes, there's no knight here, and then we can play f4 and go for our usual stuff. But this is actually a little bit annoying, because normally in this structure, we have the pawn supported, so it's just better. But that's not the case here, because black has it too. So I was holding off on that, trying to make the other useful moves here, whatever. And then finally, I was ready to play this pretty soon, like rook d1, knight there, f4. Because once you get your rook to d1, it makes a big difference. If we go here, and then this, there's not the same knight to e4, because you can see the rook's going to come in with a pretty devastating effect. So I'm kind of waiting until it makes the most sense to play it, because I see that he's got knight e4 planned. But he can't play knight e4 until the knight's gone. And the knight's not going to be gone until I play that. So you can see why I'm waiting to play that. But when he goes here, right, everything all in on this, the rook as well, it's time to just play c4, hit this pawn, and he's just not able to achieve his plan of e5 and defend the pawn. Okay, d4. We'll go with the knight. We see e6. Okay, making me think that we're on the way here a little bit. Could be getting our system here. So I'm trying to think what moves we want to do. I'm actually going to start with a3 because I've been noticing a lot of bishop b4 check. And we're going to go with b3. Cannot say that I understand that one. Maybe it's a mouse slip. I don't know. But even if bishop d7 here, I'm not going to get sidetracked. I think I'm just going to bring my bishop back. back we go. Bishop d6. Slap the knight in. I'll do it early here because I don't trust this guy. Once again, the bishop, nobody sees it. It's crazy. Nobody sees it. I can't believe it. We can probably take this, but I think this is going to be the safest way to definitely win a piece. I don't want to get in any funny business there, so I already know I'm winning a piece. I just don't want to mess it up. This doubles the pawns. This takes the dark square bishop. Two very, very good options here, honestly. Do this for bishop takes c4 for the culture. Because we can still double the pawns here if we want. I think castling makes the most sense, but we could also start with knight d2. Snag the pawn there, that's pretty good. Bishop loud and proud in the center. Offering trades here. All the trades, all the types of trades. I guess with the knight. So we can always put the pawns here. I'm never worried about anything like that. And he is going to resign that. We have an extra piece. We're a little bit down on time. Slightly surprising. Resign. But the opposite bishops are going to be so tough to handle that I think he pieced out. He said, yeah, I don't want any of that. Yeah, I know a3 looks really silly here, but in my experience playing this opening, I see such a necessity to play bishop b2 early. And if I don't play it early, then I'm basically convinced that this is going to happen. Okay, first of all, c4 is annoying. Like, just annoying to play against. It doesn't let us get our system. So I kind of need to do this. But then this happens, and it's like, well, c3 is not the end of the world. It's a bad move by black, but a lot of lower rated players do it, and I don't get to play the moves that I want. So that's why I'm kind of going here and saying, look, like, you can go like this. I'll be right there to cover that. Make sure you don't play e5. And I know this will be useful to help me play b3 in a second. And yeah, my pieces will get to the squares they need to get to, one way or another. So I feel like I have time to do it. It looks a bit strange, but I really think we've seen a lot of demonstrations that if you don't include it, guys just hate with bishop b4, and it's like, it's a little annoying. We don't get our nice setup the way we want it. Our fianchetto bishops to support the center, but also to prevent e5 from black. Very important. We get d4, so we might try to get our setup with the black pieces here. Knight f6. Oh yeah, we should definitely be able to get it here. Okay. Yep, we're certainly there. Honestly, I said it before. it remains true now that a knight on g3, it's just like, it's known h5 is it's just a good move. Okay, so we got this knight basically on a terrible square here. Just gonna go for our setup. All I know is a knight on g3, you just throw the pawn. And very early here, we're gonna be able to play knight in to e4, followed by f5. And we can do it early because, I mean, look at how many times our opponent has moved a knight in this game. It's like way too many. Take with the f pawn always. Just kind of opens things up for a potential attack. Queen out looks reasonable. We can also castle here. Don't really have a problem with that. Yeah, honestly, I was like considering castling. He can take here, of course, so it's mildly concerning. But yeah, I'm kind of looking at king up to e7. Like, you know, that looks like a high energy move. Let's play an even higher energy move. Knight f6. If he takes, you know, we can take down there on g2. Okay, I definitely think we want to capture that. Takes with the pawn. Got it. I think this is a long castle type of game. Just the type of game that it is. I don't know what this bishop's doing, but clearly he's gonna try to castle there as well. It looks like, there we go. Bishop d2 and castle is the intention. I wish we could get our bishop on this diagonal. That would be sick. That would be sick. Let's play this because it's the same concept as h5. a5 over here. And it's such a slow idea, but I literally want to play king b8, king a7, and bishop a6. I know. Slow as hell. Slow as hell. But once we're there, we're happy. Oh yeah. Plonk the bishop down on d3, and this is... I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. The lad can't move a muscle here. We can take a free pawn, but we're not interested. I think we want to just beeline it over to this side of the board and checkmate. This guy is completely stuck. He can't do a single thing about this. Look how slow my plan is. It's literally like king, pawn move, king move, bishop move, recycling the queen, but he can't stop anything. He doesn't have a single move. Oh my god, this is so unfortunate. Yeah, this is... That one bishop on d3 is winning the whole game. It's taking like every single piece and holding it hostage there, right? One bishop is controlling every single piece. Now we just take the knight. Oh shit. That's unfortunate. Most slips happen to the best of us, guys. I'm gonna tell him good sportsmanship. Thanks, you know. Mouse slip. That was nice of him there. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, now the mouse slip really hurt. But now that I've told him that it was a mouse slip, I wonder if he's going to take it next. So now that he knows it's a mouse slip, no. No, just can't get the lad to bite. Now what about now? Bro's out here playing checkers. My guy is out here playing checkers. GG. Probably the most impressive thing he did that game was not take my queen when I mouse slipped it. I think that was his highlight. So, look, I mean, not a great opening by him. I stand by. Knight on g3 in the opening, send the h-pawn. Knight on g6, send the h-pawn. That's just... there's been a couple examples this series. And look, we're getting our system. We're chucking a knight on e4. We're supporting it with the f-pawn, stonewall style. And we just have a great position here. 2 bishops. Look at that thing on c1. It's not seen the light of day. So, amazingly, a5, king b8, and king a7 is actually the best plan in the position. All right. Teacher man from Michigan, maybe? Teacher man. We're going to go d4. We're going to go knight out. I've been playing b3. I'm going to stick with it. I don't know if this is always going to be the smartest decision, but let's go here. Support the knight. Okay. So I think we can play this just because takes will be pretty nice for us. Let's go here. Okay, queen d7. This is an instance where I would say maybe knight e5 makes a decent amount of sense just because he can't respond by going knight e4 afterwards. I mean, he can, but I lose material. So let's go for knight e4, or knight e5 rather. Okay, yeah, he does play it. Like I said, he can play it, but I will take that material. And this one's defended, so it's just up a clean pawn at this point. I'd like to trade everything. Once we defend this, I feel like bishop a3 becomes a real possibility, a real good one. Yeah, so I actually don't mind that from him. I feel like that's a decent move. Let's try to trade everything. Okay, we have 7 pawns to 5 pawns, and the quality of the pawns looks pretty, yeah, pretty noticeable here. Should be able to hunt down some pawns here. Hide our king in the center, and then as long as we defend the only pawn that needs defense, everything else will be just fine. I guess technically this is going to happen, so we should be ready to give the check. A good move. We're also trying to sneak our way behind this pawn here. If the rook moves, ooh. That's definitely not going to be the one. I was going to say, if the rook moves, we push our pawn. That's pretty much it. Not a bad game. Now, look, it didn't feel like we got much out of that, but I would say we got a lot. We got an easy opening. We brought a knight in the middle, and we knew that we were doing it in a moment where our opponent could not respond with knight e4. And any other knight move would definitely be a concession, but he decided to do it anyway. And yes, it resulted in all these trades, but how are we going to say no to this? Not only are we up a pawn, but we have better pieces than our opponent, and we even have another pawn hanging. Endgame is pretty easy as a result. All right, we got the black pieces again. Got these two, we're gonna take. Okay, we have the exact same position here. People love this bishop check on us here. They love it. They love it, I'm telling you. It's a funny move, mainly because b6 he can still play here, and otherwise I wouldn't say that it's the best. Let's go rook here. Maybe he just wants to go here, and he does. We have the knight defending for the moment, so I think we'll be okay. We also want to play knight here, but we can't right away. So I think what we need to do is we need to like move this, because look, I can't bring the knight there while it's pinned. So I have to unpin myself somehow. And I think moving the queen like this is the only way that I can see how to get out of the pin and finally bring that piece in. So what, take, then bring the other rook over, and maybe finally knight e4. Could it be? So, okay, we see this. Let's bring our rook over. Definitely a solid game from our opponent here. He's eyeballing that. We're defending it. I know he's thinking about these crazy knight moves, but they do blunder the rook here, so I think he will think better of them. Now, finally, we get our knight into the middle, which means knight f3 was probably not a good move. Let's see. Knight d7, queen out. Is he just going back? If so, we could say that knight d7 was not worth it. Yeah, probably not worth it. But that's okay. Knight here, queen over. And probably last but not least, I'm just not interested in the knight showing up here, so basically what can we do about that? Queen h5, g3, bishop to c8, definitely possible. I'd love to play g5, but knight f5 we just can't allow. I'll do this because I think it's the most annoying. It does threaten to win a piece. I'm not happy to move my bishop away from that diagonal, but you know, we all got stuff we gotta do. Knight's coming to e3 here. Could support full time with that. Let's go b5 and c6. There's a nice move by our opponent here. I think we gotta just go full f5. I think this may be the first 1000 we've played, so makes sense. He's giving us a good game. Yeah, this one looks possible as well, but it's only natural to take with the f-pawn here, I feel. Knight's coming to e3, no doubt about that. Maybe this. Definitely want to safeguard this pawn, because I'm nervous about bishop b3 happening. This makes me think that queen f3 can be played because we have mate, but if he takes, he's also losing material there. So I think he should take and go knight e3. And ooh, I was gonna say the quicker he makes that decision, the better. I think we're gonna see all the pieces disappear from the board. That's what I said. All the pieces disappear from the board. We got the white pieces, which means incoming d4. Okay, definitely gonna keep the setup here so far. Okay, goes bishop there. I guess we might want to take back with a knight, but you know, he can play e5. So let's just play bishop e2 here, and I do want to play h3. That way when he takes, we just take back. Like this. This is a great trade for us. Okay, I feel like we've had a position very similar to something like this before. I do. Now this is going to be nothing like our usual setups, like nothing at all, honestly, because yeah, the game is it's just completely different. e5 is going to happen, takes, maybe knight d7, so yeah, we're probably going to get a much different game. I think I'm just going to play safe and get castled here. Castle. Very safe. We want to play c4 most likely. Gain a little bit of space. Maybe queen c2, bring some rooks to the middle. Interesting. I wonder if the plan is to play e5. I'm going to play this because I hope that it is. Now d5, I'm much more okay with. Taking is something that I think works pretty well for us here still. We could also go back to this knight e5 plan, and I'm really not against that. And the reason is because it opens up the d file. I think we can still use the d file to our advantage here. That knight looks pretty bad on e8. Yeah. Well, there we go. Yet another massive blunder from our opponent. Not this same one. I don't think he's made any mistakes this game, but yet again in this series, we have like a game-ending type of blunder. Let's see. Guy's down a whole entire queen here. I really don't envy his position. Taking the b-pawn back for me is such a low priority item. It's barely on the to-do list. I just don't want to get locked out. Oh, that was... Not sure how that ended up there, but I guess we can pretend that that was a move. I don't know how some of these pieces end up on the squares that they move to. Okay, obviously trying to take that, but staying around this knight. So even when the knight moves, we can take the rook. And that's it. GG. Took out another 1,000. He went for a d6 setup, so there's absolutely no knight e5. In these ones, I usually don't like to put the bishop on d3 because I know that e5 is happening. So just bishop e2. If the bishop's there, try to take it. But castle, c4, pieces into the middle. And just kind of go from there. All right. Oh, shoot. This guy looks jacked. Very intimidating photo, no? Oh, yeah. This guy's... Big energy from the lad here. Okay. Yep, he's coming in with a purpose here. I think you can tell. The guy means business. We need to support this pawn or at least unpin. So let's try this. I'm trying to use the setup here, you know. Knight d7. Maybe rook e8, a6, these kind of moves. Yeah, he goes in with knight e5. Makes a lot of sense to me. I almost don't even need to play this move to learn what my opponent's gonna do, especially when bishop h7's in the air. Just have to be on the lookout here. But I feel like I know exactly what our guy here may be capable of on the next turn. Looks like f4, right? Support the knight in the middle. Oh no, I accidentally tripped him up there. I didn't mean to do that. I was just yeah. Oh yeah. Based on the profile picture, bishop h7 is a move that lines up completely. Holy hell, look at the lad go. Oh my god. Yep, that does make sense. Okay, I mean, it's all checking out here, right? It is checking out. Let's see. Bishop h7, queen h5, and he's got energy here. Rook h3, so he's gonna want to keep his queen there. Okay, respect, big dog. I see you. Do we have a knight e4? Forgetting about the bishop. I feel like he's too cultured for that. Okay. I think, we may as well throw this IQ test in with bishop g7, but he's passed with flying colors everywhere else. He's one of those jacked lads that you can really underestimate. Queen h3. Okay, we got this one. Sir Mordriz. Damn. And that's our ticket to 1,000. They said, you know what? We sent our strongest soldier from the 900s, and you took him out? Welcome to the 1,000s. Please, we don't want any trouble. Like, if you can beat our best soldier, then we don't need to be keeping you here any longer. The Zukertort is up. 1,000 ELO. Perfect. 1,006. We'll take it. Up to 4 digits. This is the last time we hope to be 3 digits for the rest of the series. So hopefully we keep it that way. And we're not going to become 5 digits. So this is a pretty big moment here.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of the Colle Zukertort speedrun. It's definitely one of the easiest attacking weapons to learn in chess, so I hope that this series is making it easier to understand. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next episode.